Good morning. It is Thursday, January 9th, and this is Michigan Mornings from Ave Maria Radio and the Ave Maria Radio app. I'm Matthew Handley. Coming up, we'll have the latest on teen anxiety, but first, your local weather and this news. Republicans have resumed control of the state house with a 58-52 majority. Representative Brady Slay is a member of the GOP from Zeeland and believes having them in the majority in the House and the Democrats controlling the Senate will be productive.
I think there's lots of room to compromise on things. I think that, in fact, I truly would tell you that I believe the best legislation happens in a divided government because you have to come to the middle.
House Democratic Floor Leader John Fitzgerald of Wyoming says they are open to working with the majority Republicans to get things done.
Any genuine opportunity for cooperation and collaboration with this new House of Representatives is going to be necessary in order to get things not only to the Senate, but successfully across the governor's desk as well.
One of their first orders of business was to introduce legislation to protect the lower tipped wages of restaurant and bar employees that are scheduled to rise to being even with minimum wage in 5 years. Representatives from both the Democratic and Republican parties say they are willing to work together to pass bills and improve the state. Matt Hall of Richland was also elected as the Speaker of the House for the next 2 years, as has been expected. Meanwhile, in the other chamber, State Senate Majority Leader Winnie Brinks says her top goals for the next 2 years are expanding the Freedom of Information Act to the legislature and governor's office and making prescription drugs affordable. The Grand Rapids Democrat was able to get the FOIA expansion through the Senate in the previous term, but it did not advance in the then Democratic majority House. Brinks wants to get a prescription drug affordability board established in Michigan as well. Those bills passed the Senate in a party line vote in October 2023, but also did not move in the House. The city of Detroit is receiving nearly $347 million in federal disaster recovery aid more than a year after storms and tornadoes hit the area. The city announced the funding from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development may be used to build flood-resistant affordable housing and fix old alley sewer lines that have caused backups in homes. Detroit has 120 days to create a plan for the money. City officials say they plan to gather feedback from residents on possible projects. Colder weather is helping ice coverage on the Great Lakes to increase. As of this week, Lake Michigan's ice coverage is at 4%, Lake Superior is at 3%, Lake Huron is at 10%, and Lake Erie is at 14%, and Lake Ontario is at 3% covered in ice. The lakes are still behind their averages from the past 50 years, as all the lakes except Lake Ontario are normally at least 10% covered in ice by now. This is Michigan Mornings from Ave Maria Radio. Now this. We're looking at sunny skies and a high of 26 today in Detroit. Tonight will be partly cloudy with lows around 17. Tomorrow we'll start the day cloudy with snow in the afternoon, and we could see as much as an inch of new accumulation. Highs will be around 27. Saturday will be partly sunny with temperatures around 30. Sunday will be mostly cloudy with highs around 30. Right now it is 12 with fair skies in Detroit. We're looking at sunny skies and highs around 25 today in Saginaw. Tonight we'll have increasing clouds with lows around 18. Tomorrow we'll see some snow showers in the afternoon, and we could see as much as 2 inches of new accumulation. Highs will be around 28. Saturday will be partly sunny with temperatures around 30. Sunday will be mostly cloudy with some more snow chances with highs around 30. Right now it is a chilly 3 with fair skies in Saginaw. A recent caller on More to Life needed some guidance and advice on how to help her teen son with anxiety.
Kids' anxiety levels have gone through the roof, and especially kids, honestly, who are more sports-minded, because they tend not to be very good with relationship stuff, right? They play games and then they game online, but they don't actually interact in any kind of meaningful way with peers, and
often even with their parents and siblings.
Yeah, so I do think that there's some anxiety going on there. That the gold standard for treatment for anxiety is not medication, by the way. All the research really shows that in terms of anxiety, the best course is counseling first. Because people tend to rely a little bit too heavily on their medication, so they don't develop the skills that enable them to be less anxious. And if they rely too much on the medication, then they need more and more and more of the medication to be able to get the same level over time. So, and by the way, teens tend not to do very well in individual counseling. So I'm going to suggest that you guys go with him, especially since you're saying that his relationship with his father isn't great. This behavior of, I'll give you 30 minutes, that's him saying, look, I don't like you guys. There's a problem here. I'm mad about something, and you're not willing to work with me on it. And that's why he's not saying, I don't want to play basketball with you. He's saying, I'm mad at you, and you're not taking my concerns seriously, and you're not working on the issues with me.
Now, that's not necessarily something that you should have been able to tune into if he doesn't come to you with concerns, because we as adults have been taught that when there is a concern, someone brings you their concern, they bring it up, they ask to resolve it, you discuss it, but that's a very adult skill. And it doesn't usually happen for most of us until, we are in our mid-20s to 30s, and even a lot of us are struggling with it then.
Listen to More to Life weekdays at 10 a.m. on Ave Maria Radio. St. Cyril of Alexandria says, the only begotten Son receives the Spirit, but not for his own advantage, for the Spirit is his, and is given in him and through him. I'm Matthew Handley. That does it for this edition of Michigan Mornings on a Thursday. Lord willing, I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Until then, goodbye.